ॐ स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। यथाग्नेर्दाहिका शक्तिः रामकृष्णे स्थिता ह्या सर्वविद्यास्वरूपां तां शारदां प्रणमाम्यहम्। नमः श्रीयतिराजाय विवेकानन्दसूरये सच्चित्सुखस्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापहारिणे। श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ। सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ तच्छंयोरावृणीमहे गातुं यज्ञाय गातुं यज्ञपतये दैवी स्वस्तिरस्तु नः स्वस्तिर्मानुषेभ्यः ऊर्ध्वं जिगातु भेषजं शन्नो अस्तु द्विपदे शञ्चतुष्पदे। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ। So, I have sent one. This has been sent, no? I don't know whether you will get as this one whole picture. Do you see this picture? So, the all Puranas, Vyasa has written, every Purana, nearly 1/3 of the first part, contains this whole creative process. How the universe comes into existence. What is this universe? What are we? Because everything is what is happening in this universe, including our life, our existence here, our path to go back to perfection. Everything is in relationship with the whole cosmos. We are part and parcel, as bodies, we are all part and parcel of this vast universe. So, we will see, that's why the whole Indian culture is supposed to have based on these few truths which you have to clearly understand. I am trying to give if you see the cultural heritage of India by our Ramakrishna Mission, it is such a volume, unimaginable dimensions. Just what is Indian culture to understand. I am giving you a nutshell, the whole essence of the Indian culture on which the things are based. Because man doesn't have time to go through what we need in our life. Now I was just contemplating all these days on what story I told you about Vachaspati Mishra. I am writing his life because his authentic life is not there anywhere in the internet or here there. What we have traditionally known from our acharyas. So that from that memory and from the other things here there in the textbooks, what he himself has quoted From these things I'm trying to, even the philosophical aspect, his attitude, how he lived, all things I'm trying to bring into a comprehensive understanding. A few means it may be 10 or 12 pages, but it will be wonderful thing to transform our lives. See, more than authenticity of the things, Indians always try to know what it has to do with me. A history Shivaji lived, yes, what is it to me? Always. When he lived, what he lived, how did he go through, all these details are secondary. How it is going to influence the society, how it is going to affect me, how it is going to elevate the social conditions. That is most important. So, in that light, I am writing that how this would affect our life, how to live in this world, what is sacrifice. Wherever there is sacrifice, there is divine manifestation. Because we saw the whole creation is standing on two basic principles: the love and sacrifice. It begins with love and sacrifice, whole creation. Mother's sacrifice. She sacrifices herself to become the universe, and all of us. We are, in a minute way, we are all divine mothers. Whatever you see here, the 24 cosmic principles, Manas, Buddhi, all these are nothing but divine mother. So, that aspect we are going to see now. In this picture, just how we have come up to the Bindu, middle part. Here, one more place, I have to put Sharada at the beginning, opposite to Sachidananda on the other side. Because the knowledge of the previous cycle, we will start from the beginning, on the top, the absolute existence, Brahman, the ocean of Sachidananda, in which the universes appear here and there, and again dissolve and appear. So that unchanging eternal existence is our God, impersonal. Clear? From there, the Aham Brahmasmi and all what we say is that in Gayatri we say Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhemahi. Tat refers to this Brahman, Tat. And Idam refers to the whole universe. Always. Om refers to the absolute, Tat. And Om are same, Tat. And Idam is Reem. We will remember, we will take it up again when we try to finish this. Om represents the absolute, Reem represents the entire universe. All the varieties of powers that is manifesting in this universe or comes under one head, Reem. Just Reem means the whole universe you are thinking, the cosmic existence. All jivas, all powers in it. Om means the absolute. Om Tat Sat. That eternal existence. Satyam Param Dhimahi. We meditate on that Sat. The Param. The beyond all this, in which we appear and disappear time and again. Okay? That absolute Brahman. Shuddha Chaitanya. Pure consciousness. Sat Chit Ananda. That is the Sagara. From there, the universe has notes on the either side, notes are there. The notes, first note you read, at the end of each cycle, the universe dissolves back in its cause, the absolute. Then there remains one non-dual existence, the absolute Shuddha Chaitanya. Just like you sleep, you always compare the universe macrocosm with the microcosm yourself. How you sleep and whole thing, all your energies, power, everything dissolves. Your body alone is there because body belongs to nature, not you. Suppose it was belonging to you, that would have also dissolved with you entering into sleep. but it belongs to nature. The subtle sthula sharira, then you leave the sukshma sharira, karana sharira and enter. But when Ishvara enters, Ishvara and body is one, cosmos and we are and our bodies are not one. Ishvara and universe is one. So when Ishvara sleeps, it is just like we sleep, the whole universe sleeps. But when the universe sleeps, the whole universe becomes energy and dissolves in the absolute. So nothing remains at that time. This is the first. Second is on the right side. Notes second, number 2. The knowledge of the entire creative process and the knowledge of the state of the universe at the closure remain as pure knowledge, one with the Shuddha Chaitanya. How it existed, how was it at the end? Because the creation has to begin again in the same way. So, how it was, that knowledge remains as the knowledge, and that knowledge is Saraswati, we saw, Sharada. So, I have not put on the other side, I should put a period of rest will go on. Because you cannot say period or time or anything, because when you are asleep, you don't know time. At one point you dissolve, at another point you get up. In between, how much time passed, you don't know, because there is no time for you. But the universe is continuing. Here, universe when dissolves, nothing remains. Time also is not there. So, after a period of rest, the knowledge of the previous cycle creates pulsation. The knowledge of the previous cycle creates pulsation. So, now we see this is the Sharada awakening. The Jnana Shakti. Jnana Shakti is awakening the, how beautiful you see, which is remaining as knowledge. Jnana Shakti alone, Kriya Shakti, Icha Shakti has dissolved, and Jnana Shakti alone is awake, and that creates pulsation. Now, the Kala has dissolved, just like when we dissolve, our time has dissolved, the time of the world remains. Like that, when the universe dissolves, the Mahakala remains, the great time remains. As consciousness, as Shuddha Chaitanya, as Brahman, as knowledge, as that Mahakala. And on the other side, you see topmost Sachidanandamayi. Now, next Mahakali. Mahakali doesn't mean destructive aspect. It looks like destructive aspect because time, as the time registers the changes. I am growing. Everything is changing. Change is a continuous system of birth and death. Childhood dies, youth comes. Youth dies, old age comes. One is death and other. So it looks like Kala is going to eat us away. Kala is eating away. Kalosmi. I am the great Kala, when Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. It looks something is going to destructive aspect. No, destructive with the constructive. Both going together. The change means one is getting destroyed, the other is opening up. One step I am leaving, other step I am climbing. So, Mahakali means the one who is registering all these changes. So, next is transcendental wave. The pulsation creates the transcendental wave of love. How the mother is expanding, you see. All around is you can think as the ocean of Brahman. Inside the ocean, at one place, this like a balloon, it is coming up. Transcendental love. Now, number 3 notes. After a period of rest, the timeless, spaceless realm of spirit, the Satchidananda, the knowledge, initiates first move of creation, as if mild pulsation. In that knowledge lies the pending karmic load of jivas as knowledge. Remember, when the universe dissolves, everybody, suppose I am there, you are there, our body dissolves and becomes energy, but my identity remains in the Divine Mother's knowledge. Oh, there was one person like this, there was one person like this, their karmas were like this. In knowledge, she has to create again. So she is going to create. It remains. We are all in her knowledge. We are all our karmas are there in her knowledge. Everything originates from Brahman, dissolves in Brahman. So 4, the notes on the other side, left side. The conscious cognizes this pulsation, consciousness, Chaitanya. In Chaitanya it is happening. Just like in you something is happening. You know what is happening. Some feelings are coming, you know. Some good sensations are coming, you know. So, like that in consciousness, because you are conscious, you are able to perceive. In consciousness, Divine Mother is moving. So, it recognizes pulsation. It generates transcendental wave of love. Because consciousness, the Divine Mother is now full of consciousness. Oh, the Jiva's karmas are making her to create again, creative impulse. So, the transcendental wave of love, then comes 5. Responding to the wave of love, transcendental, Chit Shakti awakes, gradually separating from herself from pure consciousness. It's just like you. When you are waking up, how you are from all your powers, thinking, perception, everything is getting independent. You can see. The seeing power was dissolved in you. The seeing powers start seeing. Your talking power starts talking. All things start coming as they are. So it is not actually separating, but we can understand. Just like you light a fire, the lighting you can understand. So then 6, the flow of the awakened power of consciousness filled with love is designated as Paranada. This is Paranada. In the center you see, Paranada is there. Chaitanya, the Chit Shakti and Chaitanya as if they are separating, I have shown. And the right side, power of consciousness. Chit Shakti means it's power of consciousness. You and your power like. Chaitanya, Jnana Shakti, power of cognition, cosmic. Icha Shakti, power of volition. From Icha Shakti comes I will become many. And cosmic awareness comes in the consciousness. Omniscience, omnipresence, omnipotence. Now this Icha Shakti awakens the Kriya Shakti. Paranada is becoming active. Kriya Shakti. On the right side, 8. 7 I have left. There are 3 powers of consciousness. Power of cognition, volition and conation. That is, I perceive, I desire, I act. Cognition, volition and conation. Conation means Kriya Shakti. Volition means Icha Shakti. Cognition means Jnana Shakti. The power of cognition develops cosmic awareness and puts forth omniscience, omnipresence and omnipotence. Now in the consciousness, the omni, I am all pervading that understanding. One is called this is called Prakasha and Vimarsha. The consciousness is in itself and it knows itself. You are there and you know yourself. You are there. I am Vinayakananda. I and Vinayakananda are not two. I know myself means I am not two. Like that, in the I can do this. I can do that. That omnipotence comes into picture. Omnipresence, I am all pervading, comes into his picture. omniscience. I know everything. The knowledge comes into picture in the consciousness. Then 8, the power of volition opts, I will become many and enjoy the bliss in many ways. Because it's overflowing with the wave of love is containing bliss. And this gives generates the motherhood. In motherhood, now you will see Chidananda Swarupini. As wave of love, we call her Chidananda. She is in her own Ananda, Chaitanya Ananda, Chit Ananda, Chidananda Swarupini. Now coming down a little, Satyat Swarupini. Ananda is decreasing. She wants to become many. Satya, existence is there. Chit, she is full of consciousness. But Ananda has Satchit Swarupini. Here Jnana Shakti I have shown on the left as Sharada. Now the whole thing, Kriya Shakti awakens. The Jnana Shakti awakens the Kriya Shakti and it is going to, now she is going to condense into Bindu. Before that, there is the Adi Parashakti. I will become many. When the thought comes, will become many, she is called Adi Parashakti. The Divine Mother, the Shakti is undergoing transformation, she is called Adi Parashakti. Then the Sattva Rajatama come into picture. We have detailed taken the Sattva Rajatama, sufficient to understand what is Sattva Rajatama, how the creation comes with the proper understanding of various things. There is going to be movement, there is going to be matter, there is going to be perception. There is a world and I am going to perceive it. Perception, cognition is there. So, Sattva, Raja, Tama come into picture. So, Sattva, Raja, Tama is there as a part of it. When Sattva, Raja, Tama starts coagulating themselves, coming into front, it is still in balanced state, but it is coming into front. Then she is called Moola Prakriti. Because Sattva Rajatama is there, she is called Moola Prakriti. Now, suddenly she condenses into the Bindu because she cannot have multiplicity in Brahman as it is. So, she is going to expand within herself without the Brahman. The space and time is going to come into picture. So, in Bindu, she is compressing herself from the Brahman, she is separating, she is becoming a Bindu. Now, she cannot have any existence, the power cannot have, your power of lifting a stone cannot be separated from you. It has to remain with you. Like that, it has to remain with consciousness. So, when she becomes Bindu Vachini, she starts spinning to take the consciousness with her to bloom. The children eat chewing gum, they will make the bubble gum. Boom, they will make the bubble from their mouth. They go on biting and woof, they will do. That to do that woof, mother is trying to do that woof to blow up. Now she wants that space and time to come into picture. The moment she starts spinning, the time has come into picture. And this is what we see. The Bindu Vasini. Here she has become Bindu Vasini. And then she is mixing up with the Chaitanya. You and you are conscious. Like that. Consciousness is mixing up with the conscious. Consciousness is going to become the universe now. So this now she is called Chinmay. Chit is consciousness. She is full of consciousness. Chinmayi. When how they are, Rishis have used the terminologies, you see. Beautiful way. When we hear the words, we don't understand, we don't have a reference. What they are referring to. When we read any Lalita Sahasranama or anything or a song of Divine Mother, we don't understand the meanings of the words. Now we will start knowing what is what. Here, the Bindu is most important part. This is the Bindu we see in the Sri Chakra. In South India, almost everyone knows Sri Chakra. Many of the North Indians also know Sri Chakra. The Sri Vidya Upasana is there in South India, which is not there, very common in the North India. Sri Vidya. There, the Kundalini, all these aspects are more in the north. Worship of Divine Mother as Kali, here as Shri. There it is in a different way, it is taken, Shakta path. Hmm. That comes under Tantras. This is also Tantra, but Sri Chakra Upasana is very common and very popular in the South India. So in the Sri Chakra, the center Bindu is this Bindu. The backside cannot be given because it is unseen, it cannot be perceived. From Bindu onwards, the universe is going to blow up. So, Bindu, all of that flower, the lotus in the Sri Chakra, the circles, the triangles, each triangle, each corner of a triangle is a power, Shakti. So 64 corners are there, triangles are there in the Sri Chakra. We are not going to study that in detail now anyway, but you must understand Sri Chakra is worship of the universal origin. How the universe has come. The whole universe, Divine Mother as the universe, entire universe. She has become the universe. Various colors, various patterns she takes, and this universe is formed. She is worshipped in that aspect. So Bindu, first the consciousness comes into picture now. The consciousness and the power of the conscious, Chit and Chit Shakti. Now the Chit, just like you are waking up from deep sleep, you are in deep sleep, you are just waking up. What first appears to you is I. Then one by one, your mind, your body, your world, everything, first appears is I. Here also, when the cosmic waking up also, formation of the universe, first comes that I. That I is Ishvara's I. The cosmic I, which is going to manage the whole universe. When you wake up, first your I is going to come up, then all your powers will come back, your bodily existence comes back to your, and you can do anything you want within your powers. Like that, you have been given certain powers. Same thing. What happens in the microcosm is going to happen in the macrocosm. Each one, you have kept your individuality. Ishvara has kept his own individuality. He is all knowing, we are little knowing. Alpagnya, Sarvagnya. These are all the difference. Sarva Shaktiman, we are Alpa Shaktiman. He is all knowing, we are little knowing. So this is all the difference. But we are also Chaitanya, he is also Chaitanya. Ripple also contains the same ocean. Wave also contains the ocean. Ocean also contains the same ocean. Ocean, common is water. Chaitanya is common to all of us. I am also Chaitanya. Ishvara also Chaitanya. The Brahman is also Chaitanya. Here, main important point, here the I is going to come up. The cosmic I, the Ishvara. Now, here is the line. Absolute is ending and trans-relative existence is going to come. There is absolute, there is trans-relative existence is no man's land between the absolute and the relative. The whole relative, when mother becomes the universe, there is a gap-like thing between the absolute and the relative. Now, when you sleep, you see a world, dream world. Dream world is not there. When you are witnessing also, dream world is not there. Now, dream world you are experiencing, there is a gap between the dream world and the real world. Your existence, real existence. This gap between, you are going to and when you come to this gap, that disappears. And this appears. Waking appears. The universe, it was what was not there. In that you are there. Where you, waking time from dream, where you come, the dream disappears. Dream disappearing and appearance doesn't happen at the same time. It disappears and disappears. There is a gap between the two. Like this, the same way, there is a, between the absolute and the relative, there is a gap. Sri Ramakrishna says, this is the region where the Sapta Rishis and all go and stay. Last time also I told, when the whole creation dissolves, some souls who want to see what happens of the creation, they must have come out of the karmic cycle, the niyama cycle, and the kala chakra, karma chakra, niyama chakra, kala chakra, wheel of time. They must have come out of the kala chakra. Then they will stay. They can stay anywhere within the universe also. When the universe is going to dissolve, they can stay in the trans-relative existence. So Thakur says, one day I was sat for meditation, one by one lokas, all I transcended, and before I could enter the absolute, there was a luminous space in between where Saptarishis were sitting for meditation, where even gods dare not peep into that region. There the Saptarishis were sitting. The light pervading that, the consciousness takes a small baby's form and goes to one of the rishis and taps. The rishi in the deep meditation, in samadhi sthiti, he just smiles and opens a little of his eye. And he sees the child. Child says, we have to go down to help the mankind now. The rishi just nods a little of his head, closes his eyes. A ray of light descends from there, and that was Vivekananda. The child, the consciousness which took the child form was Sri Ramakrishna. That is how we see, and this is the trans-relative existence. Till we see the trans-relative existence ends there, where the space begins, the aparanada begins. From Bindu there is aparanada. Sattva Rajatama is taking the hold. Mother is becoming Sattva Rajatama. Now she is called, you see, Prakriti. Then Lalita is there. It is going side down up to the end. And Trigunamayi. Sattva Rajatama, three gunas are there. She has become Trigunamayi. And next she is going to become Mahatripura Sundari. Just beginning of the universe, this in which we are staying now. This in between, from the absolute to that starting of the space, the in between is the trans-relative existence. In the right side I have shown the absolute and trans-relative existence. Same way I have shown the below also trans-relative existence. A little below, where the three colors Sattva Rajatama, they again begin with a dotted line. Till there it is the trans-relative existence. Now this from Bindu, the three gunas are coming out. Three gunas, Sattva Rajatama. Mother has become the Sattva Rajatama and flowing out. It is this Sattva Rajatama that is going to become the combination and become the universe. Now you see how the aparanada, from here the creation has begun, but the actual universe, space, now the space what you are seeing is not the space of the universe. It is space of the trans-relative existence. In Bindu, the space comes, the time begins. After the Bindu, space begins. The space is the space. She is making space for the universe to come up. So, like that, even in the womb you see, the baby is going to come up. There is the placenta. In the placenta is something like a placenta. the bag in which the baby is kept in the womb. Like that it is. That doesn't become a part of it's part of the body itself. It's going to continue. This is the how we see the trans-relative existence. Relative existence, trans-relative existence, absolute existence. So this, here she is called Trigunamayi and she is called the Parameshwari, Jagadamba. How many times we have heard the word Jagadamba? So Parameshwari, she is now Parameshwari, supreme controller, governor of the universe. The whole who owns, who pervades, who is going to become this and pervade it and manage it. She is the ruler, the queen of the universe, Parameshwari. And the Chaitanya, the same Chaitanya associated is called Parameshwara. You and your Chaitanya, your consciousness, your body existence, your powers. The Chaitanya is called Parameshwara, your Shakti is called Parameshwari. So, here left side, time begins in the Bindu and space is going to begin here. This space is the space in which we are going to be there. The elemental space, the elemental, means the Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa Gandha, the whole universe which we are going to perceive, we are perceiving is Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa Gandha. Only 5. We have 5 senses, 5 elements it has come from. Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Apa, Prithvi. So these 5 items are called elements. Element means elementary, the first starting. Evolutes are going to come from each other. Within this, the whole universe is going to form. Within the 5. That's why the whole universe is called Prapancha. Prapancha is made up of the 5. Pancha. Pancha means 5. The one is a extension. It's a manifestation of the 5. Prapancha. 5. This is this 5. Now you saw how now here comes the space is about the actual space. From Bindu, Aparanada has begun and trans-relative existence is over. The space, Akasha Tattva is going to come. The elemental space is going to come. At that moment, we call the Divine Mother Mahatripura Sundari. Because all the Saundarya that is going to manifest in the universe in various forms, and flowers you can see, in every object you can, if you observe, you can see the beauty constantly radiating from every atom. This beauty which is going to manifest, the whole thing is in essence and root, concentrated in this state. That's why she is called the Divine Mother. At the starting is called the Mahatripura Sundari. And then the space has just begun. The first layer is going to start now of the universe. From here, the last ending. From there, it is just starting. That is called Satyam Shivam Sundaram. How beautiful you see. Satyam Shivam Sundaram is the divinity that is going to percolate through the universe. Satyam Shivam Sundaram. Sat is existence. Shivam, it's most auspicious thing. And it is so beautiful. Beautiful means which makes your heart, mind, everything filled with joy. That is Sundara. The subjective manifestation of Atman is love. Objective manifestation of the same Atman is beauty. Beauty and love. And it comes from the same origin, from the each coming and looking at each other. One as subject, one as object. Then is love and beauty. So she is called Mahatripura Sundari, and you see the universe is beginning, and it is called Satyam Shivam Sundaram. Now begins the Akasha Tattva. Relative existence is going to begin. Now the Satyam Shivam Sundaram is the outer surface of our universe, the last point where we are going to meet. Once you transcend the nature and you are going to enter into the absolute in meditation or in samadhi, then what you experience is this Satyam Shivam Sundaram. Relative. From there the relative existence begin. Relativity, time, space, all this matter, many things are going to come up now. Akasha first begins with the Akasha Tattva. It's still in Tattva form, Akasha Tattva. Each Akasha contains Sattva Rajatamas. Then from that Vayu Tattva comes. Vayu also contains Sattva Rajatamas. Then the fire principle, Agni Tattva comes. There also you will see Sattva Rajatama. Sattva Rajatama is coming as Akasha Tattva, Vayu Tattva, Agni Tattva, Jala Tattva, water principle. I am calling it principle there. It is not actually what you see water. After combination, it will become the water that we see. It is principle water, water principle. Then finally, earth principle. Why this order? Now, I, U, Ka, Ka, Ga, 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 Cha, 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 Na, Ta, 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 Na. Why that order? Anything could be like ABCD we could have kept, no? No. In Indian system, everything is put in a systematic way. In a system, absolute perfection system. Now, I, U, from Kanta it begins and flows. Ka, Ka, Ga, Ga, Kanta. Cha, 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 Ta, 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 Na, Ta, 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 Na, Pa, 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 Ma. How it comes from throat to mouth, you see, by stages. Like that, how do we form here that this order? This order is made because if you do anything, the cause is going to become the effect always. Simple. The cause is going to become the effect. Now cause is mud, clay. You are going to make a pot, clay pot. You have taken a clay and made a pot, clay pot. Now this pot doesn't contain anything except clay. This is clay in a particular form, but we don't call this clay, nor we call the mud as pot. What is the difference between both? Are mud only, clay only. We don't call this clay as pot or pot as clay. What is the difference? There is one property extra in the effect from the cause. Which is the cause? Which is the effect? How do you find out? All the properties of the cause will come in the effect. Plus one extra will be there always. From that we find out this is the cause of this. So this can contain water. Is one extra property of this. So this has come out of this. Similarly, Akasha has only Shabda Tattva. Akasha. Shabda alone, sound waves alone can move in this space. In Vayu, there are two principles. Shabda and Sparsha, you can touch it, feel it. Shabda and Sparsha are there. In Agni, you can see also. Vayu, you cannot see. Sight has come into picture. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa has come into picture. So next is then taste. Jala Tattva. Jala Tattva has a solid form also, but it is moving about. It can be tasted. For anything to taste, without liquidity, you cannot taste anything. Even if you put gold into your mouth, it has no taste because it cannot melt. suppose you put iron in the mouth, the surface, it has ironish taste, because that surface has corroded, always remains corroded, and the corrosion is able to dissolve in your saliva. So, Jala Tattva is always necessary to find out the taste. Akash, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, and Gandha, smell. One is emerging from that. Now in earth, you will find everything. In mud, all tastes, all smells, everything is there in that. All colors. We don't understand. Each plant will take out and show. A plant, hibiscus, red, blue, green, so many colors it will show. Yellow flowers. Like that, it is taking out from the same mud. Similarly, tastes. So many tastes it will show. Chili is taking out the pungent taste, and sugar cane is taking out sugar. The tamarind tree, each one is taking out from the same mud. You ask the sugar cane, is there bitterness? It says no, there is no bitterness at all in the mud. You ask the bitter gourd, is there sweetness in the mud? It says no, not even a drop of sweetness is there in this mud. It has totally bitter. They are surviving on the same, and each according to nature takes out from the same everything and gives it to. Similarly, smell, jasmine, and all flowers giving different smell coming from the same mud. So these Panchatattvas become the whole universe. Now this 5 is going to become 24 cosmic principles. From the Akasha Tattva, from all this, the Sattvamsha, there is Sattvamsha, Akasha has got Sattva, all these are Sattva, Sattva Rajatama is there in all these 5. Clear? The 5 evolutes have come. One is evolving from mother, evolutes, Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Apa, Prithvi. 5 have come out. Each has Sattva part, Rajas part, Tamas part. From Sattva part, individually, 5 sense organ come. Because Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha is there. To perceive it, we get Karna, then Tvak, Charma, then for Jalat, Agni Tattva, eyes, Chakshu, then tongue, Jivva, then last the Nasika, smell, nose. 5 sense organs emerge from the Sattvamsha because it is cognitive. Mother has come out for cognition. 3 things, matter, cognition, and what we are going to perceive, and the object of perception. So Mother, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas is going to become activity. The 3 things. So Sattvamsha, from Sattvamsha, cognition is going to come up. So the Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha and the 5 sense organ come to matching each other. How beautiful, you see. What Mother has done, the mischief, you know. She has put the sense organs in the individual body and put all the sense objects outside. That's why that attraction for each other. They have come as brother and sister. If you separate them, how they will live? They want. Eyes want to see. Ear want to hear. One she has kept outside, one she has kept inside. That's all the mischief she has done. Otherwise, everything was all right. That's why senses are chapala. They want to run after the sense objects. Now, from Sattvamsha, individually, from Akasha Tattva comes Karna, from Vayu Tattva comes the Tvak, from Jala Tattva comes the tongue, from Agni Tattva comes the sight, Chakshu, like that. Individually it comes out from Sattvamsha. Collectively comes Buddhi Manas. Buddhi and Manas. Because mind is necessary for all the five sense organs. Collectively from Sattvamsha comes the Buddhi and Manas. To take from sense, eye what brings also mind catches. Ear what it brings also mind catches. There must be common receiver from the five senses. So common receiver is the mind, and behind the mind stands the intellect to analyze and say, yes, you have seen. This is the thing. That is cow. To decide is intellect. How the nature has made a bodily existence, you see. So there is this Sattvamsha is over. Now from Rajoamsha of the same thing, five organs of action comes out. If you see here, from the Akasha Tattva, speech, I have given the sidewise. Speech, grip, locomotion, generative and excretory. From Shabda, Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Jala and Prithvi. From five, the five organs of action. We will see why these are the five organs of action. Because these are going to bind with karma. Other things will not become the karmic load for the jiva. So these are the karmas, karmendriyas. Five organs of action, karmendriyas. Collectively, five pancha pranas come into picture. The prana. Collective rajas, because prana is energy which makes everything move and act. So the pranas come from rajas. See, movement, how the mother has created. All movements, mental movement or say sense movement, bodily movement, everything is managed by the five pranas. Because it is from the rajas aspect. And tamas, the middle part, you see. Tamas portion of the five evolutes intermix to form the five gross elements, what we see. Tamas portion of the five evolutes, you see at the bottom most. Then there is the intermix. They intermix Panchikarana, it's called Panchikarana, to form the five gross elements. That is simple. Each will split into two. The half will become into four and go and join the other four. Each one, the 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they get divided into half. This half will go and join the other. This will get divided into 4. Half will remain as it is. And this will go and this will half will come and join. This half will come and join all this. So it's called Panchikarana. This becomes Purna. The Akasha that we see, half the Akasha is the elemental Akasha. 1/8 is of this, 1/8 is of this, 1/8 is of this, 1/8 of this. So this is the Akasha. Vayu, half the elemental Vayu, and the rest, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4 of the rest half is the other 4. Each is like that. So this is perceivable by you, in which you are going to live. This is grossified. Otherwise, it is not grossified. You cannot perceive. Now, there is a thought in your mind, I cannot perceive. If you make your eyes, then I can understand what is in your mind. So that perception is not possible unless it is grossified. My thought remains my thought, you cannot perceive, but on the faces, if I make the faces, then you will understand what is there in my mind. That is grossification. Thought has become grossified in your face. So, grossified universe comes by Panchikarana. Then the whole universe is formed. Now, this pentanit, these are all terms I have coined myself. Because these terms are not there. Panchikarana, for what to use the term? Gross material universe, Stula Prapancha. Now, in this, now the jivas have to come into picture. Now you see the Divine Mother, what all she is becoming. Satya Maheshwari, and the whole universe is going to form. The gross uniforms have formed. Now the various lokas, the Bhu Bhuvasvaha Mahajana Tapasatyam, Atala Vitala Sutala Talatala Rasatala Patala, the whole universe is going to become various layers of existence, and it will have Stula Sukshma Karana stages. Just like I have a physical body, subtle body, and causal body. The gross universe is called Virat, the subtle is called Hiranyagarbha, and the causal is called Ishvara. In me, a gross, subtle, and causal. Three bodies I have, which is a part of the three layers of the universe. Universe has 3 layers and 14 planes of existence. Someday in your life, if you start seriously your spiritual practices and advance in sadhana and meditation, if you can get internal absorption, then you can perceive all these lokas, tuning yourself to each one. Just like you tune your TV to different channels, you can tune to the different 14 planes of existence. And see what is, otherwise Divine Mother, you have to pray, and I want to see, give me one experience, what is it I want to understand. I will not misuse the powers that you give me. If you repeatedly pray, Mother may take you one day to one of the lokas to show you. She will catch your hand and take you with her. To come, we will go to Maharloka today. She will take you to Maharloka and show the Maharloka and bring. But most painful will be the lower. Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Rasatala, and Patala. Most painful. As you go lower, it is darkness, more and more darkness, more and more painful, more and more congested. As you go higher, more light, more understanding, more wisdom, more freedom. There more bondage, more freedom. In Brahmaloka, in this universe, the real and unreal are mixed up. Shankaracharya says, Satyanritam mithuni kritya lokoyam vyavaharaha. Satya and Anrita. You cannot suddenly differentiate between real and unreal. In the absolute, when you go to this Brahmaloka, Satyaloka, you see they are like day and night, so clear. The unreal and real. You can dwell in the real and look at the unreal. So clear it is. Now here it is mixed up. So this is about the whole creation. After this comes the jivas. The bodies get formed. As it was at the end of the previous cycle. Tuck, 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 all the bodies form. How the bodies got dissolved in the become energy. Now the 24 cosmic principles, Pancha Jnanendriya, Pancha Karmendriya, Pancha Prana, Buddhi, Manas, all things have come. The 5, this one, Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa Gandha. The universe is formed, bodies are formed. Now the universal consciousness manifests through individual bodies as the jivas. Do you understand? It is God presenting through each body. The universal consciousness is my individual consciousness. The space, you kept a pot in the room, pot space is part of the room space. The room space is Ishvara. Pot space is Jivatman. And the infinite space beyond is the Brahman. Do you understand? The space, compare the space with the Chaitanya. Individual Chaitanya, cosmic Chaitanya, and the Shuddha Chaitanya. Brahman, the absolute. The infinite space beyond. The room in which you are staying is the universe. The space covering the universe, the room is the Ishvara. And there is a part, and it is the part, one part is I and one part is you. So this part space is my individual existence and your individual existence. I am this body who says, is this consciousness. When in night when you sleep, you forget this part and you become the one with the room space. When part forgets its partness, it is one with the room space. Forgetting this is the sleep, deep sleep you are going. You forget your body. Immediately you will become the room space. You are one with the Ishvara. Individual consciousness has merged in the universal consciousness. Every day you experience this. All right, so for today, nice thing we had. This is in every Purana, almost 1/3 or 1/4 of the text our Vyasa Maharshi has dedicated it cosmology only. It comes cosmology. In every Purana you will get cosmology. Then begins the actual Purana. So this basis of our Indian philosophy, all philosophies, and whatever you have, whom am I worshipping? Whom am I loving? Everything you will know. What are the forms of gods and goddesses? In no religion in the world you will know and have this understanding. How systematically, how scientifically they have gone, you see. They have entered the inner world. The Westerners have entered the external world. That's all the difference. Both are trying for freedom. But it will be just like I entered dream and then I got freedom. I got mukti. When I came out, I did lot of sadhana in my dream and I attained everything. And then I attained mukti also. When I got up and saw, I was in the bed. So, same way, bound. So, after attaining all things in this world, when Corona comes, you will know we are nowhere. So, this understanding that after attaining everything in scientific world, we are nowhere. We are same bound souls. What was the suffering 500 years back? The same suffering mankind is having. Science and medical science has improved. So much has gone so far, but suffering has not come down. That putting end to the suffering is possible when you are away. You know yourself independent of body. All right. So for today, any questions? Swamiji, is Mahakali beyond Lalita and Tripura? Yes. This Mahakali we have reference to. This Mahakali is at the Mahakala, when the whole universe has dissolved. The Kala that remains, the power of the Kala is Mahakali. Again we will see in the next class, we will see that after the Jivas come into picture, the Mahalakshmi, Mahasaraswati, Mahakali comes into picture again. At the individual, that the combination is called Durga. That we will see in the next class. That Mahakali is different. Lakshmi, Mahalakshmi, all these are relative terms. Just like I say you. When I say you, it's a personality. When I see a biological you in you, it's entirely different. It is a human body. If I see a little deeper, the various layers of your existence, the three bodies and all, the spiritual you is different, independent of all these things. So, that you is same, but the references are, point of reference are different. The E is like that. Lakshmi and Mahalakshmi, Mahakali, Mahasaraswati, they have different reference points. We cannot have reference to this at all. When the universe doesn't exist, when no jivas exist, the jiva's karmas and jiva's existence is there in the Divine Mother's mind. When the time, that great time, the power of that great time is called Mahakali, to which we have no access at all at any time. It's only Mahasaraswati who has the access to. They may talk to each other in that state. Time is over, let the creation begin. We have no. But we have that manifestation there of that Kali is there again at our level, which with we can interact to make go beyond the time. Okay? Anything else? How can we overcome the habit of seeing the faults of others? Even though we may not say it externally, we find fault with others mentally and feel hurt. Very good. The thing is, you see, Holy Mother says, don't see the fault of others. All are your own. If at all you have to see the fault, see your own fault. And all this mother teaches. And the question comes, did mother not see others' fault? She saw. But her seeing is and our seeing are different. She saw as a doctor, seeing a disease in the patient. To eradicate that, it is not that you should not see or it is not visible. What is the solution till you are able to see the divine? Later on you will see, after you make sufficient spiritual progress, you will see like a mother seeing small child's mischief and all things. So there the question doesn't come, why that child is making mischief. It is the nature of the child. First thing we have to understand is everybody is in the clutches of their past. You cannot be what you are because of you are governed by your past. I cannot be what I am because I am governed by my past. My past limits me. So I have to behave like that. Because my past, my karmas, my vasanas are like that. If you want to change it, you have to give that, their knowledge, their understanding, their tendencies, everything is like that they think and work like that. And what we have to do, if you want to change it, you have to pour lot of love. And then go on giving knowledge, understanding, so that their actions change, their thoughts change. But who is there to sacrifice so much for others? And we have not corrected ourselves. How can we correct others? This question comes into picture. So, fault whenever it is visible, what we have to do is the question now. Till I am able to see the divine in others, slowly your sight doesn't go to that. Because you have grown beyond. Fault doesn't look like a fault. It looks like a karma and there is a karmic effect on that. Karma and karma phala, vasanas. You try to eliminate these things. How shall I eliminate this? So now till that, if you can change, if you can help them evolve, try to help. Otherwise, just when you see, offer it to God and pray for that person. By that, you will start evolving. God will take you as a reward. He will take you beyond the right and wrong. You will see everything because world is going to remain as it is. It will not change. The first thing we have to understand is I am made for the world. World is not made for me. If world was made for me, everybody would have obeyed and would have moved according to as I wish. Now I have to move as the nature wants me to move. According to nature's plan, I have to move. I have been made to work for this world, so I have a right to only serve and help others. Give love, give serve whatever you can. And many things you have to silently bear as a passing event. The things will go off. We are here for a few days. We have to go back. We are in journey. We are travelers here. We are not going to stay here permanently. We have to reach our destination. It may take many lives to pass through. All right? Don't think it is a habit of seeing faults. It is visible because we have the sense of right and wrong. Conscience is there, and we want certain things to go in a particular way according to our understanding. But nature is planning in some other way. We don't understand the nature's plan, how the nature and God is taking that person towards the perfection. When we were children, my father, whenever we find fault and tell something, my father used to tell us, Papa, he's doing like this. If you tell, yes, another person is watching you, what you are doing. He used to give the example. He used to tell one proverb in Kannada. Suttu muttu sulitiya nanagagi, melobba kaitane ninagagi. He used to say. This fishermen, they will have the hook and a thread tied to that hook. In that one, earthworm is fixed. The earthworm will be alive always. It doesn't die. Because even cut piece you can cut it into four and keep it, they will become four, earthworms. So, if the cut piece also is still alive always, like rose cutting and all that. So, that when the fishes is moving around to catch it, the earthworm is telling the fish, ಸುತ್ತಮುತ್ತು ಸುಳಿತೀಯ ನನಗಾಗಿ ಮೇಲೊಬ್ಬ ಕಾಯ್ತಾನೆ ನಿನಗಾಗಿ. So my father used to say, when you fall, see that you don't falter. You are trying to tell he has done, you have already faltered. My father used to tell, he has done a mistake and you are telling it through your mouth, you have already faltered. You should have observed and left it there or offered it to God. You did not do both. You have already faltered. That is watched by God. Swamiji, is Panchikaran happening daily or is it only one time in the beginning of the existence? It is one time in the beginning of the creation. Panchikarana. The whole thing. After this, again at the time of dissolution, it goes back. The whole process is reversed. Panchikarana doesn't take place every day. Anything else? Tapa Loka is for 7 sages. No, this is not Tapa Loka. It is beyond all the lokas. Beyond lies Satya Loka. In Bhagavatam, you can see, can you please explain the parallel explained in the roll-out structure? You see, this translative existence is beyond all the lokas. Translative existence doesn't come within the lokas. Even Satya Loka, translative existence is beyond all this. The eternal existence, as long as the universe is going to exist, whether in dissolved state or the translative and the absolute is going to remain eternally. When the universe dissolves also, transrelative existence is going to continue. Regarding Kashi also, Kashi has another Kashi which is overlapping. This is eternal Kashi. When the dissolution, Pralaya time, this Kashi, the soul of this Kashi goes into the transrelative existence and remains. The creation dissolves. Again, when the universe comes up, when the whole creation comes back, and the earth also is there, this Kashi from the real Kashi from the transliterative comes and overlaps, just like soul comes after the body is created. Like that, it happens. This is transliterative existence is different from these seven lokas. It has no. The universe when dissolves, all those who have got krama mukti, they remain in the Satya Loka or Brahma Loka. They don't go into the trans-relative existence. When the universe dissolves, they become Brahman. They dissolve in the Brahman. They can retain their existence because they are free from the karmic load. But usually they dissolve. But these people they go and live in the trans-relative existence. The Saptarishis and whoever wishes to see the creation ending and again creation starting. In Tulsi Ramayana, the Kakabushundi comes into picture, whom the Rama blesses. He will be seeing not only our universe, universe to universe it will be going. Once you go beyond the limitations of time, Kala Chakra if you cross, you can enter the other universes also. And see what happens in the Kakapushundi goes to each universe to see Rama's birth there. It is how beautiful conceptions you see. Even if we take it as a story also, unimaginable. We'll deal with the time later on sometime. The time must come. How the conception of time beyond our imaginations. And timeless existence, timeless space, the Brahman, the Absolute, is everything and everybody is God. Yes. But the thing is, there is a layer of existence, ignorance each jiva is carrying. That is the Karana Sharira for us. Because of which we project ourselves to the bodily level and come back. One day you will recognize that Aham Brahmasmi is with respect not to the bodily existence, not to your subtle existence, not to your causal existence, but your real existence which is going to project to the bodily level and come back. Every day. And that is what I am telling. Pot space is you. You are identified with the pot. The space is you. The day you know that you are the space, you are free from the pot. Pot is going to break one day, another pot is going to come. But you are not going to break with the pot. If body dies, you are not going to die. This is what the first thing in Bhagavad Gita Krishna takes to Arjuna. Because Arjuna is in despondency. He is upset. So the Krishna first medicine is Advaita Vedanta. You are not at all a body. Whom for are you weeping? How beautifully Krishna says. First thing for medicine is Advaita, which dissolves all the difference, all problems. Then he goes on telling so many things about the creation, about the aspects of God. All things, what I am going to tell you, I am telling you. The whole Hinduism is there in the condensed form in the Bhagavad Gita. We don't understand. If you get this background now with this background, you can enter into Bhagavad Gita. So much of preparation is necessary to read. Once, when I was in pre-university, I wanted to read Bhagavata. I told my father I want to read Bhagavata. He said, You are not yet ready to read that. Now you do your japa meditation and all regularly, Sandhya Vandana and all that, and try to understand yourself, this world around. What is just at psychological level you try to understand other people and all that. Otherwise, if you read now, it will be a story for you. It will not awaken love of God. It will not transform you. But after some amount of sadhana, if you read, you will you will get the vision of God. So, we are not yet prepared to even to understand Bhagavad Gita. We have to go to the schooling. That's what now from the beginning we are taking. We are building up ourselves to reach a state when we can understand the spiritual concepts. What Krishna is going to tell. Who is that Krishna? We will be able to understand. What is that war going on? Who is Arjuna? Who is Krishna? Who are we? Why did Krishna tell that in the Ranabhumi, the war field? Because we are all continuously in the war field. Internal war is going on, external war is going on. We need that message of Krishna now. All right? Shall we end? Yes. I pray for you all. And I wish and pray that you all must reach that absolute perfection, eternal bliss, eternal peace. Before the body falls off, you must know your real existence independent of body. Otherwise, human life, I feel, we have come to this world, God has bestowed with all things necessary for us. How to live in this world is not a problem for us at all. God has given us sufficient. Even physical health, energy, strength, everything has given. Now if we don't reach the perfection, if we don't reach what is expected of us, then we are making in the Upanishads he says, Mahati Vinashti, great destruction. All right, wish you all the best. हे प्रार्थना जगदीश से यह स्वर्ग सम संसार हो अति उच्चतम जीवन बने परमार्थमय व्यवहार हो ना हम रहे अपने लिए हमको सभी से गर्ज है गुरुदेव ए आशीष दो जो सोचने का फर्ज है हम हो पुजारी तत्व के गुरुदेव के आदेश के सच प्रेम के नित नेम के सद्धर्म के सत्कर्म के चीड़ झूठी राह की अन्याय की अभिमान की सेवा करन में दास की परवाह नहीं हो जान की छोटे न हो हम बुद्धि से हो विश्वमय से ईशमय हो राममय और कृष्णमय जगदेवमय जगदीशमय हर इंद्रियों पर ताब कर हम वीर हो अति वीर हो, उज्ज्वल रहे सर से सदा निज धर्म रथ खंबीर हो, अति शुद्ध हो आचार से तन मन हमारा सर्वदा, अध्यात्म की शक्ति हमें पल भी नहीं कर दे जुदा, इस अमर आत्मा का हमें हर श्वास भर में रहे, गर मौत भी तो आ गई, सुख दुख हमसे सम रहे, गर मौत भी तो आ गई, सुख दुख हमसे सम रहे, सुख दुख हमसे सम रहे।